Scottish football is on fire. Rangers have gone to war with their own fans after a scandal landed them in hot water with UEFA. Over at Celtic, Brendan Rodgers is fuming as yet another team leak before the Derby sparks a hunt for the insider. Lennon Miller's stock is soaring, and Celtic risk losing another Scottish talent just like John McGinn. And to top it all off, Daizen Maeda has dropped a bombshell about his future at Parkhead. Those were just the headlines. Stick around for the full story and even more Scottish football updates. Oh boy, here we go again. Just when things were looking up for Rangers on the pitch, off the pitch, chaos. Absolute chaos. Right, let's break it all down. Rangers have absolutely torched a section of their own support after a banner at Ibrox landed the club in hot water with UEFA. The display in question? Unveiled during the Europa League quarterfinal second leg against Fenerbahce, it read, "Keep woke foreign ideologies out. Defend Europe." And well, UEFA took one look at that and slapped the club with a charge for a racist and/or discriminatory message. Now, if anyone thought the club would try to downplay the situation, they were dead wrong. Rangers' statement wasn't just firm, it was brutal. They called the whole thing shameful, deeply saddening, and frankly embarrassing, making it crystal clear that they want no part of this nonsense. They even went as far as telling anyone who doesn't believe in inclusivity to disassociate yourself with the club immediately. That's about as direct as it gets. But that's just the tip of the iceberg, because Rangers have also been hit with other UEFA charges. Fans were throwing objects onto the pitch, blocking passageway. And let's not forget the cherry on top. Some geniuses decided to set off pyrotechnics at Parkhead after the Old Firm win. Because, nothing says celebration like ensuring 1,300 of your own fans might now be banned from future cup games. Smart. And let's be real, this isn't even the first time something like this has happened. Rangers themselves pointed out that missile throwing has become a regular occurrence at Scottish stadiums. Just in January, there was an incident at Ibrox during an Old Firm clash. More recently, at a game against Motherwell, one of Rangers' own fans was hit and injured by something thrown from the stands. So after all this, the club is laying down the law. They're saying enough is enough. They'll work to identify the culprit, and they're urging the reasonable majority of fans to start calling this stuff out before it lands the club in even more trouble. Because, let's be honest, every time Rangers get fined or punished, it affects the whole club, not just the individuals responsible. And now, time to drop the bombshell question for you lot. Did Rangers handle this the right way? Or have they gone completely overboard by turning against their own supporters? Let me know what you think. This one's going to get spicy. Brendan Rodgers must be absolutely raging. Just a few hours before Sunday's Glasgow Derby, the worst thing that could happen to Celtic before a big match happened. The starting sheet was leaked. Again, 3 hours before kickoff, whispers started flying around that Callum McGregor and Austin Trusty wouldn't be in the squad. And sure enough, those rumors turned out to be true. Now, that's basically handing Rangers a free advantage before a ball is even kicked. And this isn't the first time it's happened. Back in November, Rodgers went on a full-blown rant about these leaks. He made it very clear that whoever was leaking the starting lineups was not a real Celtic supporter. In his words, if it's someone from Celtic, you're not a Celtic supporter because you're not helping Celtic. And he wasn't just annoyed, he promised to hunt down the culprit. Fast forward 4 months, and surprise, it's still happening. Rodgers must feel like he's managing a football club and a detective agency at this point. Who's the mole? A staff member? A player? Someone's mate running their mouth in a WhatsApp group? Whatever the case, this is not normal for a club of Celtic size. At any level of football, knowing your opponent's team in advance is a massive tactical advantage. You can tweak formations, exploit weaknesses, and press the right players. So the big question is, why is this still happening? Is it arrogance? Negligence? Someone inside the club looking for attention? One thing's for sure, Rodgers is not going to let this slide. Expect some serious investigations behind the scenes at Lennox Town. And here's the big debate for you lot. Is this just an unfortunate mistake? Or is someone deliberately sabotaging Celtic from the inside? Let me know what you think. Looks like Celtic might have a real fight on their hands if they want to bring Lennon Miller to Parkhead. The Motherwell wonder kid has been turning heads for a while now. but after getting the call-up to the senior Scotland squad, his price tag just went from reasonable to you better have deep pockets. Celtic had their eye on him back in January, with Brendan Rodgers reportedly a big admirer, but Fir Park weren't having any of it. Now though, with only 18 months left on his contract, the summer window could be a whole different story. The problem? They're not the only ones watching. Enter the English Premier League. Yep, the old story of a talented Scottish youngster getting a taste of the national team, rubbing shoulders with top players, and suddenly, boom, big clubs down south start paying attention. Stephen McGinn has already warned that scouts and managers will be listening closely to what's coming out of the Scotland camp. If Lennon Miller impresses, you can bet someone in England, maybe even a certain David Moyes, will get a nudge and start sniffing around. And that's where the John McGinn deja vu comes in. Remember when Hibs had him, and Celtic seemed the obvious next step. Then suddenly, Aston Villa swooped in, and the rest is history. McGinn went from Easter Road to leading a Premier League midfield. And Celtic fans were left wondering how they let that slip through their fingers. Could history be about to repeat itself? Some reckon a move abroad could be the way forward. Italy, perhaps? Just look at Lewis Ferguson, Aaron Hickey, Billy Gilmour, and McTominay, all thriving away from Scotland. The thought of Miller developing in Serie A, where young midfielders seem to level up overnight, is a tantalizing one. But if you're a Celtic fan, you'll be hoping they act fast before it's too late. So here's the big debate. Should Lennon Miller stay in Scotland with Celtic and develop under Rodgers, or take the McGinn route and aim for the Premier League right away? Let me know what you think. Another Celtic star having to answer the dreaded "Are you staying?" This time, it's Daizen Maeda, and his response? Let's just say it wasn't exactly a declaration of undying loyalty to Parkhead. Fresh off scoring against Rangers in a 3-2 Derby defeat, Maeda is now back in training with Japan, but it's his future at Celtic that's got people talking. When asked by Sky Sports if he saw himself staying long-term, he gave the classic footballer's "I'm not sure" response. Never a great sign if you're hoping he sticks around. And let's be clear, Maeda has been absolutely flying this season. 28 goals, 8 assists, 42 appearances. Not just a workhorse anymore, he's turning into a goal machine. Brendan Rodgers has helped him level up, and with Celtic 13 points clear at the top of the table, he's been a massive part of what's looking like another title-winning campaign. But here's where things get tricky. Players who shine at Celtic don't go unnoticed. We see it with Hoda, Kyogo, Hatate, and even Ange Postecoglou himself. Sooner or later, bigger leagues come calling. And Maeda has already seen Kyogo make the jump to Rennes, which hasn't exactly been smooth sailing. Maybe that's a warning for him that leaving Glasgow isn't always the dream move some think it is. So what now? If you're Michael Nicholson, you're getting Maeda on a new contract ASAP. If they don't move fast, it's only a matter of time before the transfer talk turns into real offers. Celtic fans have seen this story before, and they know how it ends unless the club acts now. So here's the big question for you. If a Premier League club or a top European side comes in for Maeda, should Celtic cash in? Or do they need to do everything possible to keep him? Let me know what you think. If you haven't seen Scottish football yesterday's video yet, you're missing out. Go check it out now.